Well, hello there. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, welcome to my channel. It's so much fun to be fun and do silly things like that once in a while. I am so glad that you joined me, and in case you didn't know it, you stumbled across my channel by accident. This is the Wendy in Neverland channel. I talk about cross-stitch things as well as maybe some other craft things I do and things that are going on in my life, activities I might be doing, etc. All the good stuff. So let's jump into what's been going on. It's obviously winter here in the northern hemisphere. We live in Oregon, so it's a little more temperate climate. It doesn't get quite as brutally cold as some places, but it does rain a lot. And it has done its share of raining lately. It's been making it hard to get out. Plus, it's a little chilly. I mean, not nearly as bad as some places, as I mentioned, but it's chilly enough that it gets frost on things, as well as sometimes there's a little bit of a layer of ice like on our porches or something, so we have to be careful walking outside. Yesterday we finally had a nice break in the weather, and I was able to go on a little walk slash hike because it was very muddy. And I knew that there was a possibility that it was going to be muddy, so I had worn my hiking shoes, and they're waterproof and they got big thick soles on them so that, you know, I could squash through the mud if I felt like it. So I did that, and I went on a trail that I have showed a small little clip of before, of us walking on the trail, but also of there's a stream that runs by part of it, and I had done that in the fall, so it was this really relaxing, bubbly little creek stream that was just real nice and pleasant, and you could walk out on some of the area I was in. They had some rocks, some flat rocks that you could kind of step over in between, and the stream kind of ran around some of these flat areas. It was beautiful, gorgeous, as I mentioned, very relaxing. It's not so much now. I'm going to show you a very small little clip of what it looked like in the fall, just so you could kind of get an idea. And then I'll show you a little clip of what the stream looks like now. Okay, I think I was standing somewhere around there. So as you can see, it was quite a bit different, so much so. And there was somebody there in the fall who had told me, yeah, this place just gets covered in the winter from the rain because there's so much water and it just covers all these rocks. And it was new to me. I hadn't seen that before, so it was kind of a little bit of a shock to see just not only how much it covered, but it was just rushing down these rocks. So that was nice to be able to get out and have a relaxing day in nature. When I looked at the forecast, they said today it wasn't supposed to be raining, so I thought I might be able to get 2 hikes in, but probably around 11ish I looked outside again, and it was like, no, there's still frost all over the grass. It's kind of overcast. I don't think it's going to rain, but this is not ideal weather to hike in case it might. And I looked at the weather again, and it's sure enough, they might have had a chance of raining in the afternoon, and it was only like 39 degrees. So I did not want to get out there and hike in that. So it would have been nice because I know at least for the next week or so, it's going to rain again. It's going to be like it was before yesterday. But that's okay. I got out and got some nice outside time. Okay, let's talk about some other things I've been doing. I watched Amy loves toads. I love watching her. She's a very soft-spoken, quiet woman, and I love her stitching projects. But she also shows once in a while that she will put stuff in a stitching journal. And I know sometimes some of us will record, and I kind of have something where you're recording what your whips are, what the materials you used, all that kind of stuff. So I have that, but it seems more of what she's doing is more like a junk journal where she'll put little stitching projects that are finished in there, just kind of tuck them in a little pocket or something like that. I don't know if she records a whole lot in there because I haven't seen anything that's recorded in there. It's more of just kind of a keepsake kind of thing. I really like that because you can have some small projects that you can stick in there and kind of keep for forever if you want. So I decided I wanted one of those, as well as the ones that I keep records on. I've been wanting to do kind of a junk journal for a really long time, and I've been putting it off. And then when I saw this, I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I already knew the idea I wanted to do, but it was a matter of getting it going and doing it. And so this kind of prompted me to do it. So this is it. And I'll tell you all about what I did. So as I mentioned, I had a lot of these things for a long time. This cover is actually a book cover. So I went to a thrift store, found a book cover that I liked. It was the right size. That was hardback, all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't a novel that anybody cared about. It was, I don't even know what it was because I've kind of painted over, so I don't even know what the book was. So I ripped that book out. So I just had the cover. And as you can see, it was normally black. I've changed it a bit. So what I did was I wanted to do this technique, which I had seen on a video before, where this is kind of got, it's a textured kind of thing. It's not just because of paint and whatever else, but it actually has a texture. I don't know if you'll be able to see. So you can see there's actually texture. The stuff that I used for that wasn't quite the stuff I wanted to use, but it worked well enough that I was having a hard enough time finding stuff. And I just said, you know what, I'll just use this. It's not ideal, but I'll use this. The problem with this stuff is it's not as thick as a normal paste. It stuck and it stayed where I wanted it to. It wasn't like it started just slouching down and losing its design, but it still wasn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more raised than this, a little bit more of a paste, a thicker paste. And it also was translucent once it dried. So you weren't going to be able to see it. Well, this was already dark, and then I was going to put this over the top of the texture. I was like, I'm going to lose all of that detail if I just go at it with a black book. So I painted the front of the book a gray, a light gray, so that I could see the texture, the design underneath once I started sponging this. So I painted it, then I put this medium on after it dried, let that dry, then I sponged it. I'm going to pause you because my husband just came home. He may make more noise in there, but we'll just keep going. Then I sponged it with this bronze color, and that's, you can see that underneath all of that. So I sponged all of it with this bronze color, sponged a little bit of the spine and then the back as well to give it a nice look. But I wasn't done there. I had some spritzing paint spray, kind of like an alcohol ink almost type of thing. It came in a pack, and it was kind of the purple and a teal. You can kind of see the teal there and the purple as I get it closer. And I spritzed that all over the front. It kind of went on the back a little bit, but it didn't really show up as much. I think the gray really helped make that pop a lot. Then I put on a couple of keys as well. They're, flat keys. Then it was time to work on the inside. So the inside, because I didn't want to just show the back cover and the messiness of it, I put, this is actually material. I glued it down with fabric glue, some material that went all the way through the inside. Now I have papers in here as well, lots and lots of papers. And it's all different kinds of stuff. It doesn't follow one theme. Like sometimes the junk journals are more antique-y looking papers, but I wanted a variety of looks, 2 of them. So I went with a lot of different looks. So you can kind of see through there that I did that. So lots and lots of different looks, okay? I have not put any pockets in here yet because I don't know where I'll have the stitching little projects that I'll tuck in, and so I'll just put in those pockets as I go, as well as maybe some other embellishments, because I have papers with tags that you can cut out, and so I can add those as I go. So what I did to put these papers in, because I didn't just glue them in, there's a little piece of cardboard in there that I put holes in. I used a tool that has a very sharp point, and you just kind of keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So I put holes in that little piece of cardboard. Then I had 3 different stacks of paper that are folded in half. Let me get to those so you can kind of see there are different stacks. There's another stack on the other side of this. See if we can get that. So you can see there's 3 different stacks. And what I did was also punched holes through here as well as this cardboard, and I made 3 different rows of those, and I sewed by hand. I just did 4 different holes, so sewing and looping up through all of these. I know this isn't explaining it very well, but I don't have something to show you separate. This one also has a sewn part, and the back one also has a sewn part. So there was 3 different rows on the little cardboard paper with 4 different holes in each of those rows. And then I just sewed each of these sections together, and then I glued the cardboard into the bottom on the inside part of the cover. So I am so excited, and I love how it turned out, and it's great and fabulous, and I can't wait to put stuff in there. Thank you so much, Amy, for your idea. Okay, let's get to some other stuff. I'm trying to think which kind of order I want to go in here. I have some new things, not a lot, but a couple of new things. I was watching Colette, the Highway Stitcher, and I think this was an older video, and I just never got to doing anything about it. But she had showed one time that she had done this. It's called The Secret Garden. It was part of, as you can see, Stitching Book Club. This picture does not do it justice, by the way, at all. This is a computer generated picture, so it's just, when she showed what she did, plus her fabric was fabulous. This is what it looks like when you stitch it. And the designer had put it in a shadow box with flowers and a green mat that looks like a gate, that's cut out into a gate shape. It's got that rounded shape to match the stitching project, and it was meant to be like that. Not that you have to do it that way, but it was gorgeous. I loved it so much. So I went ahead and finally got this printed off. She does have an Etsy shop. It is, if you Google Stitching Book Club, she does have an Etsy shop, and that's where you get these patterns from. And they're instant downloadable ones, so it's not like you have to wait for it to come. So yeah, I can't wait to get into this. This is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you, Colette, as well, for showing that some time ago. And I'm finally getting to it. So another thing that I had gotten from a friend who, I think she gets Cross Stitch magazine, and then she got this, and she's not going to stitch these, but I found at least a couple things in here that I am probably going to stitch. It's just a simple Beatrix Potter calendar. But I fell in love. Now this is the picture that Beatrix drew, so I'll show you the stitched one in a minute, but it's this. Let me get the light off. It's so appropriate because we're stitchers, and it's a little mouse. And if you notice on here, the title of the newspaper is The Tailor. So cute. So I will stitch that. Let me see if I can find the stitched picture of it. Da, da, da. Hold a moment, please. We'll find that because it's kind of like mismatched all over the place. Okay. Oh, there, I found the other one that I wanted to stitch. Okay, so here's what it looks like as a stitched project. Very cute. Very, very cute. So I'll do that. The other one that I'm going to do, probably, squirrel holding his apple. Very cute. So I'll probably do that as well. I don't know if I'll do any of the others. If I had grandkids or something, maybe I would do that for their room or something. But one thing I did think was kind of cute, but I don't know if I would do it, is I also watch Patchy Pony Stitcher, and you know I sent her a lovely bag with horse on it. She had been giving away, and I've seen this before, but I kind of forgot about it. She was giving away the little hedgehog that you stitch and then you make into, you know, the shape of him, and then you put pins in the top of him for his little spines for his hedgehog. Well, they also have a hedgehog in here. So that might be kind of cute to stitch along and put with the little hedgehog if I ever got him. But yeah, the Tailor one with the little mouse, and then the squirrel one is probably the only ones that I would do out of here, but I really thought they were adorable. Okay, I had showed you that I had finished the warm winter woolens, and I know I said it wrong a couple of times on the video before. So reminder, here it is. And it measures a 5x7 size. And in the picture with the pattern, it showed it in a stand frame. And I thought that would be really nice. I would love to get that, but I don't want to have to order it from them. It looked like it could be potentially expensive. So I thought, well, maybe I'll be lucky and find one at a thrift store, or I can make it somehow. And then I happened to be at Craft Warehouse for their after Christmas sale, which I got several things. One is this giant ball, like a jingle ball. Oh, it's great. It's kind of looks like it's antiqued and rusted in spots, and very deep sounding jingle to it. Oh, very nice. But while I was there, I found this. Perfect. It's not exact. I mean, it's very similar to what they had showed in with the pattern, but not exact. So, yeah, this will work perfect. It's a 5x7. So I just need to get to actually doing and finishing this, the FFOing part of it. But I was so happy. And it was only like $12. Yeah. So that wasn't horrendously expensive, because I know fancy things like this, you know, they can be up to $40. They can be kind of a ridiculous price. So I was very happy that I found that. Yeah, very happy. Okay. So now I want to quickly talk about kind of what happened this year in the like finishes and things like that. In January of last year, as part of my birthday month, I had started the 31 new starts. So every single day in January, I started a new project. And then throughout the year, as you've seen, I have worked on those. Out of all of those things, I finished 13 of them, completely finished. 5 of those were an FFO. So some of them have not completely been finished off in the way that they're going to be displayed. They're just, the stitching is finished on them. So I did 13 finishes of those 31, but I also did some other projects, some other finishes and things that I kind of put in every once in a while. One of them was that horse bag. Even though I was stitching on some of those other projects, I did that as well. So that kind of just snuck in there at times. I did the T-balls, remember those. The little sleds with the little stitched parts on them. Oh my goodness. So I am still stained up from doing the journal. And the stitching bee one, every once in a while I'm doing that as well. I also have another project that I'm working on that I'm not showing you yet. You will see later. So I have had some other projects besides those 31, just not a lot because I knew I had enough to do. Out of the ones that are left, because there's 18 that are left, probably about half of those, at least half, maybe more, could probably be finished in about 5 days time each. So it wouldn't take very long to finish them, or less. Some of them would be less than 5. So it probably wouldn't take long to finish up all of those. We'll just see as we talk about what's going to happen for this next year, if that's going to happen. I think it will. I think they'll get finished. I just don't know if every single one of them will get finished in 2021. Okay, so a couple of the new things that will be going on in 21. I may back off and do a video closer to 3 or 4 weeks instead of every 2 weeks, because it seems like it just comes around so fast. It's like, oh my goodness, it's time to do another video again. And I may or may not have a lot stitched by then. It kind of depends. So I'm kind of toying around with that. So if you don't see a video in 2 weeks, then that's because I've kind of held off, and I'm going to stitch it a little bit later, or not stitch it, film it a little bit later, so that I have a little bit more to show you. And it's not kind of like, wow, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks already. So that may be one of the changes that I do this year. I'm also going to give myself a goal of FFOing more things. So my goal, and I'm putting this out there so y'all can keep me accountable, is to try to FFO like 2 things a month at least, possibly once a week. Kind of depends on how easy I can get the access to the things I need to actually do the FFOing part of it. But I'm not going to just kind of put it in a pile of things that are finished stitching and not do anything with it. I'm going to try to not do that, or at least finish those things that are in that pile. So that is a goal that I have for 2021. Okay, now the one other thing I'm going to show you here real quick is what I have worked on for stitching. Because I think in the last video I had actually finished, or I don't think I did any other stitching from my list after the last video that I did 2 weeks ago. So I needed figure out something that I wanted to work on for these 2 weeks, and I decided to concentrate on my Mahade, as well as the other project that I'm working on, and I'm not going to show you. So I have a before and an after, and I'm not going to show it to you here because it's huge, and I don't want to try and hold it up and get it in view of the camera and everything. So I will insert those videos here, and that way you can see what I've been working on. Here's the Mahade that I'm working on. It's called Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. And here is the after. I worked on it for a couple of weeks, 10 days, something like that. And as you can see, I got quite a bit finished. This whole area here is filled in, and I'm starting to work around the horse a little bit more. This is how much I got done. Now for what my plans for next year, besides, my goal of trying to FFO things and the video things. I have come up with an idea of how I'm going to keep up with the stitching, kind of how I'm going to incorporate everything. So I have come up, now I've only done 3 months because I know this could potentially change, and I just don't know, since it's a new thing, if this is going to work. I made myself a little calendar page with my guide down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate mostly for the full week on either my hay, because once I started doing those 31 new starts, I really didn't focus on my hay hardly at all this year. I did in May, but not really much beyond that. A whip from 2020, so I can finish off these things, and then like every other weekend I will start a new one. So that way I can start something new, especially if I finished a whip, because like I said, a lot of these may only take 5 days or less. But then I can put a new whip in that place, or just keep being able to get new whips in my rotation and all that. It's kind of figuring out how I can start new things, because I have a lot of new things I want to start. And I'm not going to show you all those in this video. This is going to be a long enough video. So as you can see, I've got like a Haid, a previous whip, and then the green would be for the new project. And just kind of keep rotating around through like that. So we'll see if this is going to work. You know, sometimes, as they say, the best laid plans of mice and men, kind of, you know, they fall apart, they don't work. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. As I mentioned, I still have 18, and I made a little chart so I can keep track of this and know what I still have for whips. And then I have my list, and this is not even complete because I need to add a couple more things to it. All the things that I would love to start, and we'll see if I'm going to. So far there's 28, but I know I didn't even write down the 2 I showed you today. So the Beatrix Potter calendar ones, the Secret Garden, and I've got at least a couple more from Acorns that are coming. Now, this is not everything in my house that I need to start, that I have not touched yet. But these are the ones I really would like to get going. This doesn't leave a lot left. Let me clarify that. It doesn't leave a lot left in compared to some people. Some people have way more than, as they say, that they could ever stitch in their lifetime. And I don't think I'm quite at that point. But yeah, this will at least get me kind of knocking some of that down. So I am going to go through now and show you the whips that I have left that I had for my new starts in January of last year, or this year. And we'll see the progress, kind of remind you what I did and how much progress I made on it and how much I've left and all that good stuff. I will try to tell you the fabric I used. If I know for sure that that is the fabric that was called for, I will let you know, but I do not know for sure on all of these. So let's get into it. I've got a nice little pile over here waiting for us. Okay, first one. Summer Delivery by Plum Street. I have, I think, autumn. It's like this. Can't wait to get into that one either. Summer Delivery. I used an R&R Vintage Beeswax on 36 count. So that is what I used to create this. Now, we all know there's going to be a lot here, so I did not iron all these, people. There's too much to do. So here's what I got done. Clearly the horse is missing. But I've got a lot of other stuff done. In fact, the horse may be the only thing that's missing. No, there's a couple stars around the horse. So once I get the horse done and a couple of stars, then I'll be done. So as I said in mentioning how close I am to finishing some of these, this is probably one of those that could be finished pretty quickly. So get nice and close on some of this. So there is one of the whips. Da, 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 da. I don't know exactly how I'm going to put these away or set them aside. Alrighty, the next one that we have, change my paper here. Oh, it's called Four Corners. I love these colors. I love the style of this, everything about this. This is from Rosewood Manor. And this one, I used a Belfast Cream 32 count. So I'll show you what I have finished on this so far. So got quite a bit done. As you can tell, there's another motif on this side, and then that will be the width of it. And then it's pretty square, so it's going to be that size square. So as you can see, it's going to be probably about that wide from my fingers to my fingers. And then it'll be that tall as well. So there's, I believe, if I remember, a couple of specialty stitches, but mostly it is, it's just regular stitching. Let me see if I did any specialty stitches. Oh yeah, so there's some in here, those. I thought there was something else too, but I'm not seeing it right off, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it. We got things to look at and to do here. All right, so there's number 2. The next one is the Patriotic Sampler. This is Jeanette Douglas. And if you've ever stitched Jeanette Douglas, you know that Jeanette Douglas likes to use a lot of specialty stitching. And boy, does she ever. In this one, I used a lamb's wool linen 32 count. And this is what I have done so far. So I still have quite a bit down here that needs to be finished. This is the top, so I won't go any higher in this, but there's still quite a bit down here to do. The words and these hearts and this part of the flag are all cross-stitched. Everything else is a specialty stitch. So she definitely likes to use those. Get up close if you want to see. That is not cross-stitched. Those are all, there's each one of those is 4 Smyrna crosses. There's a lot in there. And then kind of satin stitching and different things there. So a lot going on there. Here's that one. The next one, get to my papers here, is Glitter Village. So this is a little bit harder to show you. It's actually like 10 houses. You can see. I have done almost 3 of them. So I did the church, did this little pink house, and I'm working on this one right now. And I used, let me find that, the Belfast Silver Natural on 32 count. So it's got the nice sparkly glitter to it. So still working on this one, I believe. Yeah, because you can see the tree is not done. It's getting close to being done. I've got some stuff at the top here I just need to add as well. I am putting this all in on one piece. It'll be one big long piece. So it kind of looks like a road where all these houses and things would be. So yeah, there's what I'm doing so far. All right, project, I don't know, 4 or 5. Can't remember what we're at right now. this has kind of been a little bit more of a recent viewing. You've seen this a little more recently, was the Antique Rooster sampler. And with that, I used a Belfast Natural 32 count. I don't have a lot left on this. This is also one that would be easily finished in just a few days. Or, you know, no more than 5 at least. Because you can see just where those holes are and where I need to add some things. So getting close to finishing that one as well, in case you want to see up close. I'm not one of those that typically is attracted to red work, but I like this one. It's different. It's something that I don't normally do, so it was kind of nice doing that. The next one is called Three Tulips. It's by Brenda Gervais. A little bit of an older pattern, so it's not something I've recently gotten. Probably all of these are probably similar to older patterns. My son is coming home, so he's probably gonna make noise. Hello there. Hello, dear. He's looking at me like I've lost my mind. Okay, with this one, I used Picture This Plus Newcastle Mellow on 40 count. I think this is the first time I used 40 count, and I don't think any of my other projects are 40 count. There we go. I think there's a couple things, like maybe some letters on the side, and then the big pot at the bottom I still have to do, so I don't know that this will take too long to finish. Because the pot is pretty full coverage, it would just depend on how fast I stitch and if I would be able to get this done in, 5 days or not. It's close, but I don't know for sure if I would be able to. So there's our next project down. Let's see what we got next going on here. All right, Let It Snow. Barbara Anna, get a little closer to this picture. So that's one of the Barbara Anna ones. I know they've got several different seasoned ones that have the scissors on them. So if you're interested, you'd probably find some of those like fall and such. For the Let It Snow, I used a Belfast Natural 32 count on this one as well. And that is what I finished so far. I think this was kind of a recent project I worked on, so it probably isn't been too long since I showed this. You probably remember what I've done. So we're getting there. I don't think this one would take very long to finish either. So that will probably be one of those that gets finished as well. The next one, Spring in the Tulips. This is the Just Nan series. I have all 4 seasons in this lineup. So yeah, let's get to that. That one it's a Lugana Platinum 32 count. And this is all that I had finished on that. Out of the 4 seasons, this is probably the one I got the least amount done on. The others, I got part of the borders done as well. So that's all I got done on this. Okay. The next one's a big one. It's going to be a little harder to show you, but we'll make it work. It's called Glory in the Morning. This is Crossed Wing Collection. Really like Crossed Wing Collection. And it is a biggin. So this is used, it's a hand-dyed fabric by Stephanie, 28 count. This is the fabric that was dyed specifically for this particular one. So this is how far I've gotten. You can see those leaves are pretty good size. And this fabric, I'll show you up close real quick and then we'll get to And this fabric, it's gorgeous, but as you can see, it is very, very long. So it's got the blue for the sky and that goes down into the green for the foliage, and it just kind of keeps going and going and going. So that will definitely not be done in the 5 days. It's not one of those projects that's going to get done that quick. Okay. Our next one, move some of my papers here. Summer by the Sea. So another one of the Just Nans. I love this one. This one is Belfast Flax, 32 count. Get a hold of this a little better. There we go. So in this one, I did get a little bit of the border started. It does have a little bit of specialty stitching up there in the flowers, more of a satin stitch. Love the whale in the ocean. Very cute. It's kind of hard to tell down here. Let me see if I can get a hold of the fabric a little better. We've got seashells and starfish, and the seashells are more of that fan satin stitch. It's not a cross stitch. Very cute. Love this. Love it, love it. Next, we have, gotta move my papers. Autumn in the Country. There's our Just Nan one. And that is using linen chestnut 32 count. Once again, I got a little bit more border on this one. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Now we have, this is a very small picture. It's called Voice of the Shepherd. I used a Belfast Summer Khaki 32 count to do this. So here is the picture, what it looks like. And hold of this. Here's what I've done so far. Get this to flatten a little. So I've gotten quite a bit done. Show you a little closer part to this. I also have a fan going, so it's kind of moving my fabric around a little bit. I still have that little girl there. She's partially finished. The boy, obviously, pretty finished. He has a, they both have a staff, a crook staff that they're holding, you know, the shepherds would hold. So that'll get put in there as well. I mean, you've got the heart that will come up around and a little bit of foliage up here at the top of the heart. And then, as I mentioned, a little bit here. So there's not a lot left on this one. I think this will be a pretty quick finish as well. It won't take too long to get to that one. All right, we have the final Just Nan Winter in the Forest. And this one is on Belfast Stone Gray, 32 count. Here is what I have done so far. And this was also kind of a recent project that I worked on. And so you would have seen this not that long ago. Get a hold of it. And since I have talked about this recently, I won't go over it all again. All right. The next one is called, where are we? Snowman Wisdom, and it is done on Fabric Flares Waterfall Blue Even Weave. This is the called for, I know for sure. Just kind of like Glory in the Morning was the called for. This is the called for fabric that I'm going to show you. It is also a big piece. Not as big as Glory in the Morning, that's for sure. But here it is so far. There will be more stuff down here, so it's going to be a pretty good sized piece. This is about where the top is. There might be a few snowflakes that I get added, but that's what I have done so far with this one. Got the carrots and Mr. Sun. Got some of the snowmans, the disembodied head, and then some of that at the bottom. So that one's coming along. I don't know that that one I would finish in the 5 days. I think there's just too much still with all the writing and stuff that I need to do. Alrighty, we have just a few more, we'll see. This is going to be a long video, but I think a lot of our end of the year ones tend to be that way. Birds in the Birch. That is this one right here. It's a Stony Creek. So this booklet has all 4 of those patterns in it, but this is the one I'm doing. I do not have the fabric written down because I dyed this myself and I did not write down what it was. So this is what I've done so far on it. A lot of times when I'm trying to do dyed stuff, it's kind of like a Frankenstein project. I never know what I'm going to get, or I have to just keep mixing and testing on like little paper towels and see if I've got the right color and hope it's going to turn out on the fabric the right way. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. The next one, Set de Borat. I'm not sure if I said that right. It's one of the Russian ones. It's this one. There it is, the name of it. I thought I knew who did this. I don't remember. Luca S. So I think that's who it is that's done this. Yeah, it does say that up there. You just can't, the writing's kind of hard to see. I love this because I'm a teacup person. Got lots of teacups. And this is what I've done so far. A little closer so you can see it. This is done with Edinburgh Linen Ice Blue 36 count. Sorry. It did come as a whole kit, so it comes with all of the threads that you need, and it did come with Ada in the similar color, but I wanted it on a linen, and so I switched it out to that instead. Okay. Oh, we already did that one. Then I have the 12 Days of Christmas, Satsuma Street. So there's lots of ways to do this. On the back, they show you as having done all together and framed that way. The front was when they're all individuals, and that is the way I am going to do it. I'm stitching them so they'll be on individual pieces, and then when I figure out exactly what I'm going to do, then I will finish them off to what I decide. Okay, so number 1, I need to tell you what fabric this is because I forget all the time. This is a Cashel Linen Antique White 28 count. That's what I'm using for this. Here's number 2. 2 French hens. Or no, 3 French hens. 2 turtle doves, sorry. And there is number 3, my little French hen with his little beret and everything. So that is how far I've gotten on Satsuma Street. 12 Days of Christmas. And then we have, and this is another one of those that I've showed you recently, the Life with Cats. So this has 3 different patterns to it. Separated. That one, and that one. And this is by the Blue Flower. They all say fun little things. This is done with Newcastle Country Mocha. This is also another 40 count. I forgot I had another one. So this is what I've done so far. I am putting these, as I mentioned, all on one piece. So I won't go into that too much because I've recently talked about this. There's 1. There's 2. And that's as much as I got done on the 3. I don't know if I would get that done in 5 days. Possibly, but not 100% sure if that would happen. And then the last one that I'm just going to show you, because I have showed you some progress. It wasn't one of the 32 or 31 days of new starts, but it was the stitching bee. This is something I just work on every once in a while if I need a small project to take with me. And we need to get that thread out of the way. And that's all I've done so far. Not a big priority to work on that, so it doesn't get worked on very often, and all that kind of stuff. So as I mentioned, I have the new stitching journal that I just made, but I also have kind of a stitching journal or record or whatever you want to call it in my planner book that kind of lists much more of the detail of all of the different projects that I work on. So these are ones that some of these are finished and some of them aren't. I'll need to add new pages so that I can add my 2021 projects on there. I think that is about all I have for you today. About all. This is plenty. That's plenty of stuff to add to give to you for this time. I hope you all are having a great Christmas season, whatever holiday you celebrate, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. And that this new year really is a little better for us than the previous one. Yeah, we all know that 2020 really kind of sucked. And we know things can get worse, but we hope that they are going to be better. We know they're going to be better, right, people? Right? Don't make me come in there. It's going to be better. Yeah, so that's all. And once again, I probably won't see you quite as soon as I have in the past. Maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We'll see how things are going and how things are progressing and how often I'll be able to come to you and talk to you about all things. So anyway, hopefully you have a good day, good week, good month in January. It's my birthday, so I will be celebrating that in a few days. Yeah, all the good stuff. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.